In this video, we'll learn how to create a progress column in Loocey and go over the settings and options of progress columns. There are two ways to create a column in Loocey. We can either open the context menu of an existing column and click on Add Column to Right, then choose Progress from the drop-down. Or we can click on the plus sign at the end of the table, select More Options, and then choose Progress from the column type drop-down. We can enter the display name and click on Add if we want to use the default options. Now that we've added the progress column, we can adjust values directly in the table using the slider, and the system will save them automatically. Let's drag a few sliders to different points and refresh the page to confirm the values have been saved correctly. We can also open the right panel by clicking on the item name and update the field value from there. The difference is that from the right panel, we need to click on Save to apply all field changes at once, instead of updating them one by one in the table view. Note, the Save button will remain disabled until you make a change. Let's make some edits to our progress sliders and click Save. Let's look at some of the other options while adding columns. The following examples will be for string column, but the options work the same way for other types as well. You can set a default value for a string column so that it's used for all new rows created in this list. For example, if you want every new row to start with a specific label like new entry, you can enter that here. This way, each time you create a new row, the string column will automatically be filled with that unless you change it manually. Next, the required option, just like the name implies, makes a column a required field when creating or updating records. By default, the name column is required. If we want to mark the string column as required, we'll also need to set a default value. This ensures the column always has a valid entry when new records are created. If we mark another column, in this case, string, as required, the Add Item input box will change into a button link. Then, when we click on either the Add Item link or the new button at the top, the system will open a dialog showing all required column inputs. Let's add another record and enter the values for the required columns in the dialog, then click on Create. The record will be added along with the values for all the required columns. This design of keeping track of required columns helps keep our table consistent and prevents invalid data entries. The isNull flag is a somewhat technical term, which simply means that if no default value is entered, this column will allow nulls instead of a value. Again, this is a database term, and it's okay if you leave it the default. Note that when we switch off the isNull option, the default value field will become required, as now the column requires a default value. This is because if you already have data in your list and if you turn off the null option, this column will need to be populated with another value, otherwise, we would get an error in the database. That's it for today. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to be notified when we release new tutorials. Thanks for watching and see you next time.